Living and breathing La Vida Boa. Welcome to the Boa Life podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Demoura, alongside Nick Kulhay. We're here to educate, inspire. We're here to teach, and we're here to learn from you, the viewers.
What's up, everybody? My name's Nick Kulhay. This is the Boa Life podcast, episode 1. You ready to do this, Steve?
Let's go! All right, so here we are, episode 1.
Episode 1
of the Boa Life podcast.
Why don't we explain to the viewers what Boa means?
Man, what were we thinking doing this? I mean,
what were you thinking?
I was thinking, it's time. It's time. I got all these white hairs, which means I got a lot of experience, and I need to share that with the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a few white stragglers, too, somewhere.
So the Boa Life is good in Portuguese. It's my middle name. I believe you're married to a boa. So
I am married to a boa.
Have that in common.
Now my kids have a middle name Boa just as well.
Yeah. It's the life of choice, the good life. What we got here? I've been meaning to do this for a long time, and I had the honor and I was fortunate enough to see you do a challenge in person and see you post some stuff on YouTube, and ultimately inspired me to come out and say, like, you know what, let's try this. I've been meaning to get out there and speak some words of wisdom through experience, and hadn't had the courage till I saw you doing what you did. Why don't you share with the viewers what exactly what you undertook, which was, to me, to see a feat that was just incredible.
Yeah, well, it's crazy to say this, and I'll say it at first. For me, it wasn't even that hard, and I already put that out there on Facebook when I made my final post. It was really nothing. I'm very active. I love to run, and to do 48 miles seemed crazy at first, but it ended up being fine. So it consisted of, it's the David Goggins challenge, 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours straight. And my inspiration came from my daughter Mila, who was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, and I had a friend post about doing it for a charity that he was going to do it for, and it gave me the idea. I knew I wanted to run it. I said, let me try to raise some money. I know enough people who love me and trust me, so went out and did it.
And you accomplished it, and it was pretty spectacular, and it was an inspiration, and it just made me think. It just gave me the courage to move forward and say, listen, I want to contact Nick, because it's like we have these shared experiences in life that we need to share with others, and I don't think there's any time like the present to do it. I was fortunate growing up to have a father who was extraordinary and experienced so many different things and has so much wisdom. And in a time where, when I was 16, when I lost my mother, who passed away to cancer, to have, a moment in time that could have went well for me and could have been a disaster for me, to have him there by my side and to guide me through life to be where I am today, I was just blessed. So I always thought, what could I do to give back? And this was just a culmination in seeing you do that and have the courage to finally say, you know what, I think that there's people out there that could listen and learn some things. And at the end of the day, I have a family just like you do, and I wanted to leave a legacy for my kids. My fear was always that I'd die young. My mother died at 40, 41. I'm now 42. And if I were to go, I couldn't do what my dad did for me. I want to make sure that whether it was written or on video, that they can look back and get some inspiration and some education from me and learn from my mistakes and learn from the good things I did. So it's why I'm here today, and I know you're here today to share your experiences and to help people grow. And when we're in search of this Boa life, this good life, I mean, what is that? I mean, it's different to everyone, right? It's different for you. It's different for me. But ultimately, I'm looking for answers, and I have some answers to share. And I think throughout this journey that you are going to go on, we're going to have a lot of different people on, and we're going to try to learn from their experiences. We're going to try to help them and help the viewers and see where this takes us. I mean, it's our first time. I know you're nervous. I'm nervous, but
Super nervous, not gonna lie.
imagine where this goes, right? And I can't wait for the viewer to see the side of you that I see, which is going out there, getting on video, doing crazy things, and inspiring in action. And I want to do the same thing too. I've always admired how you are physically. I've always struggled with my weight, and that's something I need to work on. And hopefully we have some guests that can help us with that. I know you can definitely help.
Absolutely.
But,
yeah. You get courage from watching other people be courageous. So, a lot of people tell me I'm kind of crazy for the physical abuse I put myself through. I think it's normal. I think that the mental battles that people go through are a lot harder than any physical battle you can put yourself through. So if you can train your body, if you could be disciplined physically, then you're only going to help yourself mentally. And that's going to transform or transfer into everyday life, work, family, friends, society in general, all that good stuff. So, yeah, like I was saying, being physical for me, it's nothing. It's a routine now. I do it. It's like brushing my teeth and driving to work. Same every day.
I hope one day I can share that feeling, because to me it's like one of the hardest things. It's just funny how we as individuals have things that we're good at, and then there's things that we're not good at, and in a sense of making those kind of habits easy, that's what I'm searching to do for sure. But what I do know is the sacrifice is worth it in the end, and nothing good comes without working hard at something. And I guess once you're fit, it comes easy, but you've done a lot to get there. And it's kind of how I feel when I'm speaking. I happen to be an attorney, so I help a lot of people work through problems in many different areas, and have for my whole life. So again, another reason where I feel like this is a calling where I can help people and motivate people to do better in life, and to work through some of their problems. But ultimately, I just like talking. And
don't we all?
I mean, I probably talk too much, and this is going to be like a therapy session with you. I think you're going to be working me through a lot of issues. And
yeah, I think so. I think we're going to help each other out through a lot of issues.
Yeah, probably.
Everyone has issues. Look, at the end of the day, I think we just kind of stepped up to kind of face those issues and show people that there is a good life to lead, and we're here to help you.
Right. And the thing about a good life too, it's different from everyone, right? But we're in search of it, and we're living a little bit of it. We're blessed with our families, with our careers, with the opportunity to do things like this. I mean, when would I have had the courage to do this? I mean, I've grown as a person where I can come out and do this, because I like to speak, but to get on camera and to really open yourself up to people and let them in, and we're going to let them in. Right.
Yeah, they're going in.
We're going to let them in.
Like it or not.
We're going to let them in here, and we're going to let them in on our experiences, and it's exciting, and it's nerve-wracking, and it's a journey that we're starting right now. I can't believe this is episode 1. We've
only one, We've only been talking about it for a few weeks. This is not something where we been chatting for months or years about doing. He just came to me one day with a simple phone call, and that was it. And I was all in. I had to think about it for 2 minutes, tell my wife, and that was it. Because I kind of had the FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Yeah. What was it? What was her reaction when you were like, "Hey, this is presented to me. What do you think?"
So she was kind of like just shocked. She's like, "Wow, Steve's calling you? What was that about?" And I told her, and she's like, interesting. She was indifferent about it. She didn't know yet. You know, Kelly needs a little more information to give an opinion about something. So she needs to gather that first and then say, yeah. But she's fully supportive of it. And, yeah.
It's just kind of similar to how my wife was. I think she was perplexed at first, because it's like, all right, I can totally see you doing this, but like, really? That's what you're going to do that? And it'll be interesting when we have them on to see.
For sure.
To let them experience, one, what we're experiencing, and to let and to ask them some questions and see how they react. It's just, I can't wait to have that shared experience with them. I mean, that's what life's about. Whether you find someone you love, a companion, a friend, whether you have children or not. I mean, I think life's all about relationships, and without them, I feel like life can be a little empty, no matter what kind of relationships, whether it's a bunch of friends or family members. I think, the community that we're in is so important. And when you have people that support you like we have, I mean, the sky is the limit. And I felt like she was behind me, especially as we got closer, like on the eve of me leaving my house to come here. You should have seen the excitement in my house. Like, I know your kids are a little younger than mine, but my kids were like into it. They want to know when they're going to be on. And I think it all of a sudden, especially when my wife clicked, like, wow, he's like, this isn't, cause I'm sure you have, like, I've had things that I'm going to do and you never follow through with certain things.
Yeah. All the time.
And, you certainly followed through in your in your mission to get this thing accomplished, which was unbelievable. But I've always set goals, and I've failed miserably many times, which is another thing. It's like, don't stop. Like with my weight, constantly struggling to be healthy and try to be around for a while. And I failed miserably, but I keep getting up.
Yeah.
And then there's other areas where there's success, and I'd like to share what those successes are and why they work. And then I want to meet a bunch of people that are successful and learn from them. And we spoke about meeting people that have gone through tragedies and learning from them and how they cope. And it's like, what aren't we going to do on this podcast?
Yeah. I'm excited. I get the wives on.
I can't wait to get on our first run together too. We're going to really flourish. Yeah, make me look bad in the runs, but
it's all good. It's all good.
What do you think? Where do you think we are a year from now? You think we're still doing this?
So yeah, I definitely think that, because if we put our mind to it, why wouldn't we?
I agree. I think we're in it for the long run. I think that this is an experience that is like an out of body experience.
Feels like that right now.
Yeah, it feels surreal, really. And I can't imagine what it's going to be like listening to ourselves afterwards.
No, it's going to be a little crazy. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It'll be some fun commuting to work watching this or listening to this.
Listening, well, I don't think you want to watch. That could get dangerous.
Yeah, a little dangerous.
I would tell you that I would hope every time we come out here it gets a little easier, because it can be stressful out here talking about certain things and opening yourself up. But I'd imagine it'll be real easy when we have guests and are able to ask questions and learn from them.
Yeah, we'll get more comfortable as we go. And I think, just being nervous and uncomfortable is natural. You wouldn't do anything in life if you weren't uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because doing nothing is easy. Sitting around doing nothing challenging, nothing to give you a rise. So we're here doing that, and we should be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I tell you, if you want to get out of your comfort zone, man, this is something you should definitely try for sure, right?
Yeah, get yourself on camera. And I was always a shy guy growing up. I could remember back in the school days, having to get in front of the class and paper shaking and everything, voices cracking. So everyone's naturally like that. Some people just handle it better than others. Some people practice it, and then they handle it. Then it becomes second nature.
No, I agree. I mean, half the battle is just doing it. Just get out there doing it, facing your fears. It is amazing that most people are more afraid of speaking in public than they are of dying, which is
very true.
Ironic.
It's a real statistic, right?
Yeah, you'd rather be the guy in the casket than the guy doing the eulogy. Which
is that crazy to think about? That alone should be motivation enough for people to try something that makes them uncomfortable, don't you think?
I think you should try to do something that makes you uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah, all the time, every day.
Yeah, I think
several times a day.
I don't know about that many times a day.
Well, it could be the littlest thing. It could be. It doesn't have to be something crazy every time. Like, what makes you uncomfortable? Smiling at someone, saying hi to a stranger. Does that make you uncomfortable? I'm sure it makes a lot of people uncomfortable. It shouldn't, because it's kind of weird nowadays. But you just do it. You make someone's day. You never know. That person might go ahead and smile back at someone else. The littlest thing you don't even think of.
I agree. Now with the pandemic, everything's kind of different, right?
Yeah,
it's like
they can't see your smile.
If someone licks their finger and moves a piece of paper, you're like, whoa, what are you doing? Come on, don't do that. That's crazy. But yeah, it's, nowadays, especially with what's going on, I think that we're gonna be here for a lot of people that need to hear guys like us that we're in the thick of it, right?
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
in the middle of our careers. We got a lot of stress. We're trying to do the best we can to keep motivated, to provide for our families, and some of the things we're doing right, and some of the things maybe we're falling woefully short. I don't know.
That's a good thing, because we're learning from that, right?
I think so. I'm kind of always trying to self-assess where I'm at. Like, am I a good person? Am I doing the right thing by myself, by my family? And as I reflect, I always think, there's a lot of room for improvement. And I think these things, that you and I talking and discussing with other people, is going to be a perfect time to get perspective, right?
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
kind of see what makes other people tick, see what they think, and you kind of feel where you are in the world, and whether you're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Us sharing experiences and hopefully, listening to others and learning from them, it's only going to make us better. There's no information that's bad information. It's just you choose how to internalize it and either let it go as bad information, forget about it, or good, and you internalize it, and then you learn from it. So anything anyone says, it can be good,
Yeah.
You either learn from it if it's bad, or you take from it if it's good.
No, I agree. I mean, if I reflect on my past, it's like, I think the best experience I had were the bad ones.
Absolutely.
The failures are the ones I learned from. Like, the successes, it's like you win this, you win that. It's like, what do you learn from that? I mean, it's, don't get me wrong, it's great to win.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, it's great to accomplish things and to achieve the goals you set out. But I mean, the failures, they really show you what you're made out of.
I think competitive people are great at winning because they win and then they get right back to work and try to win again.
Right.
If you settle for one or just a few here and there throughout life, then,
And they're not afraid to lose either. I think
Exactly.
I found an interesting statistic. I don't remember the math of it, and I didn't think it's important, but it was like Michael Jordan took like 2,000 winning shots, and I think he only made like 200 of them,
Yep.
But nobody remembers all the shots he missed.
Exactly.
Right? They remember him being the guy that wasn't afraid to take the winning shot, and I think a lot of people are afraid sometimes to take the winning shot, and it's like, what are you afraid of doing? Losing when you have this shot to win and to take an opportunity. Like, go after it. What's the worst thing that can happen? And those are my best learning experiences. Were the ones where I tried something and it didn't work out, and I learned from it, and you move on. And I think a lot of people sometimes are afraid to do things for whatever reason, to fail. The people are telling them. It's like, how many people will tell you and I, like, what are you two doing? Like, you're doing a podcast? Like, give me a break. Like, you guys aren't good at it. You're not, like,
me talk.
Yeah, like, what a waste. Like, you guys are just wasting your time. And it's like, I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
No, don't care at all.
I don't give a shit what you think. I want to do this for whatever reason I want to do it for, and I think it's a good thing, and whatever happens, happens. I think more people need to feel that way. But then you got to get perspective, because it's like, well, is it a worthwhile thing? Because I don't want to be the kid on American Idol, right?
Well,
that sings and thinks he's great, but it's terrible.
Well, you never know. Some people on American Idol that were terrible started making a lot of money.
Well, yeah, sometimes being terrible is.
But yeah, I don't think there's, you should always risk it. You should always try it. Definitely.
Yeah, I think if you aren't trying, then what are you doing? I mean, you're sitting on the sideline. It's just not worth it.
And that's cool with some people. If they want to live their life, that's cool.
So here we are doing it, making it happen, and I think it's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Definitely a step in the right direction.
And I just can't wait to see how we're going to evolve doing this, and I can't wait to see how it changes as we go on.
That's the best thing about it. You can't achieve perfection. There's no such thing. What's perfection? You can be good at something. You could be great. You could be Michael Jordan. But was he perfect? No, as you stated in that statistic.
Yeah.
But you can always strive to be perfect. It's a good summit for you to try to climb and get to.
Right.
But knowing that it's unachievable is the best thing about it. It keeps you trying. You got to have that competitive nature all the time.
Right. And then you're going to lack in other areas. I would tell my kids, like my kids ask me, Dad, do you think I could be a professional baseball player? I said, yeah, you could be a professional baseball player. I think you can be anything you want. But if you're going to dedicate yourself to be that level at something, then you're going to lack in other levels. It's just,
Oh yeah.
you have to dedicate yourself to one thing. You're going to, you're going to be a great baseball player, but you're not going to be a great musician, or you're not going to be, I feel like the people that are really, really good at something need to like dedicate themselves to that. And sometimes I think it's counterintuitive to life, because in life, especially as a parent doing what we do, you got to be good at a lot of things, like the jack of all trades and master of none.
Yeah.
But, if someone dedicates themselves to something to be the very best at it, it's something to admire. And I always admire that in people. But,
well, they started somewhere.
Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They started somewhere. Michael Jordan, played baseball too, right?
Yeah, well, he wasn't very good at it.
He tried to. But that's the best thing about trying. From a young age, you figure out, you try different things. And then you go for what you enjoy and what you're naturally good at, or you want to work at.
And you see what you're good at. I agree with that. To me, as growing up, I always wanted a family. Like, that was my thing. Like, that's what I wanted to do. And now that I have it, I want to make sure that I'm the best at it.
Yeah.
And being a parent's the hardest thing in the world, because you're constantly questioning if what you're doing is right.
Yep.
And
every day,
second guessing yourself, no matter what you do. Is that right? Did I do the right thing there? Am I teaching the right lessons? And it's like, you're never on steady ground as a parent,
No, you're not. I mean, as long as you have a good foundation of how you want to raise your kids, in agreement with your spouse, that's important. Then you got to just always remember that during the hard times. And go with those foundational things that you set for yourself. And from there, they're growing human beings. They're going to take it however they want it.
I agree. You better be on the same team with your spouse. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, if you're not doing that, man, you're letting the kids know maybe they're in control of everything. I will tell you, it'll be interesting to see with our wives what they think about our parenting skills. I'll definitely have to ask them that.
Yeah, maybe we'll hear something we haven't heard before. I definitely think that's coming.
I think that they definitely, at least my wife has a different parenting style than I do, and I think it complements. You don't want to have people doing the same thing all the time,
Exactly. No, it's a team effort, but you can't have the same player.
Yeah.
Like with anything in sports, all the players do something different. The same thing with the couple.
Oh,
you have to be different.
I certainly think that if you're on the same page, and even if you're coming at it from different perspectives, what's important is that you have that same common goal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So our common goal is let's make sure we raise kids that are respectful, that are kind, that aren't afraid to do things, and set goals for themselves, and try to accomplish great things, which is kind of we're trying to do, and trying to show them that, right?
How much do you reflect back on how you were raised and try to use those as goals for your kids?
All the time.
Everything?
I would say that, like, I try to take the good and try to, like, bring that into it, and then the things that I didn't think were good, I try to not do that. Like, for example, I think the best example, like, my father was, like, you heard me speak about him before. I think it was he's my hero. He's an inspiration to me. But when it came to, like, food, he was terrible. So, like, he didn't want me to eat anything because I was, he was really into me playing soccer and being a good athlete. So I couldn't eat ice cream, junk food, forget about it. So, like, I would be at my aunt's house and I would, like, sneak Twinkies and,
But that's what kids do.
Yeah, all right. Well,
so it's almost not your fault, but
right.
He was trying to.
Yeah, he was trying to make sure I was eating healthy. But and reflecting back, I'm like, that made me want to eat all the time, right? And now with my kids, it's like I let my wife take care of the food decisions. I kind of like take a back seat because I'm like, you know what? I'm probably not.
Well, are you afraid to be like your dad was to you in some way?
Yeah. I'm afraid to be too strict with that so that they're not going out there and then wanting to eat everything like me. Like, I feel like I have an unhealthy relationship with food. Like, I'm constantly like, oh, I want to eat. eat till I'm full. And, you know, maybe some of it is emotional eating. Who knows? I'm sure someone smarter than me can figure that out. But
That's funny because I'm the same way. Like, I love to eat, and in a sick way. That's why I exercise.
Well, that's kind of why I exercise too. It's like I want to exercise to eat more. It's just I'm still eating more than I'm exercising.
Everyone's anatomy is different, you know.
Yeah.
But ultimately, yeah, that's one of the goals. I don't want to have to restrict myself either physically or mentally. Like, I don't want to play the mind games with food.
Yeah.
So I actually have like an 80-20 rule. And this goes for a lot of things, maybe everything in life. Like 80% of your time, and you divide that up however you want. You take it 80% of a day, 80% of a week, 80% of a month, a year, whatever. Doesn't matter. 80% of the time, eat good. And what's good? Okay, whatever's good for your body, whatever you see on TV or the internet and you know that's good or makes you feel good, feel healthy. And then the other 20% of the time, don't worry about it because you're going to drive yourself crazy. If you try to be, you know, 99% in one little cheat meal a week and be strict as heck the rest of the week, no, you're going to drive yourself crazy and then you're going to fail. And ultimately, that's exactly what you don't want to do. You don't want to fail at it. So find that happy medium, a little more on the, you know, the BOA side.
Yeah.
And then the other 20%, you know, you're normal. You're a human being. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have cravings.
Not a bad way to look at it. I mean, and I guess that kind of like segues into what we want to do, right? Which is like give people tools to do certain things. So it's like that's something I could use in my life, and I feel like it makes complete sense because if you completely try to, it's like a lifestyle, right? If you completely take away something momentarily or temporarily, you could do it for a little while, but you know, you do a diet, you know. It doesn't work, right? You have to have a lifestyle. Like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Am I okay with that?
I think that's the biggest problem with society and why, you know, tons of people are now so overweight and obese compared to however many years ago, because the word diet, you know, everyone wants the quick fix. And a lot of people have heard this before, you know, there is no quick fix.
Right.
You can't just expect to, you know, diet for a week and have your abs pop out. You know, you could do it, yeah, and you'll lose a few pounds, but ultimately what's going to happen is you'll probably crash. The numbers say, the statistics say you will crash. And you go back to your old ways and probably even worse. So that short bit of satisfaction actually hurt you in the long run. So the only way is to get a habitual plan, yeah, and stick to it of something that you know that's good.
It's funny you say that because it's like I'll do something and I'll be good at it and I'll lose weight and then, you know, I'll gain back all the weight plus more. And it's like, you're like, well, I mean, what is going on?
Worse off than when you started.
Yeah, you like take one step forward and 2 steps back. And you're right. It's sad, but sometimes the answer's simple, right? Like, you know what to do. It's just having the motivation to do it, the discipline to do it.
The hardest thing is doing it.
Right. And then, you know, how do we do that? We do that with a plan, right? You gotta have a plan. And then there's tried and true ways of doing it. If you work out 6 days a week, you can't do 7 days a week like you, that's crazy. Even 5 days a week, have a healthy lifestyle where you're gonna eat healthy, a certain way, do something that works for you, and you do that consistently and make that your lifestyle, like that's gonna work. If you, like you said, if you're doing it, if it's an immediate thing and it's, I'm going to just do this for a little while, like, you've already lost. That's not going to work.
You know, consistent has been a huge word with me lately. Not just lately, over a number of years, because you're not going to get good at anything in the short term. If you're not consistent with something, it's not going to happen, you know? So you decide what you're going to do, and then you be consistent with it. And that's the hardest part, getting up every day and doing what is uncomfortable, you know?
To when you get to the point where you're like, it's easy.
Exactly. Well,
because it's like, I'm going to go run like 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. It wasn't that bad. Like, wait, it wasn't that bad. Like, I'm like getting nauseous just thinking about it.
I know exercising is easy for me a lot of the time, but actually, you know, the times that I don't want to are what makes it, you know, better for the next day, because then I look back at that day before and say, man, I felt crappy that day. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was so tired, but I did. So that actually was training my mind, because I was telling my mind to shut up. No, I'm getting up. I'm getting out of bed. I'm going to do what I know I need to do, or what I said yesterday was my goal to do, and I did it. So then the next day you remind yourself that you were capable of doing it and that you can do it again.
Just creating that habit and having that self-confidence to be like, this is something I can do. I did it yesterday. I'll do it. I was like, it's like me going to the gym. It's like sometimes you're not going to have a good workout, but get up and get there, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's all showing up.
It's just, I mean, a lot of life is just showing up, right? It's like this podcast. It's like, just show up, get there, get it on film, talk, inspire, educate, learn, grow, evolve. And you and I, you know, I can't wait to see how we evolve from episode 1 to, 20, because we're just rookies. We're here starting. We're here having a conversation, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. And again, this is probably the hardest because it's the first, and because we don't have real parameters here. We don't have a guest. We don't have a topic that we want to discuss. Going forward, I mean, we're always going to have a plan to discuss certain things, or if we're talking about someone or undertaking challenges, or like I said, we don't know where we're going to go with this, but the first one's always the hardest one. And I'm just glad, as happy now as I was when I first started, because I know it's like I'm doing something I want to do. I know I'm doing something that I was meant to do. And we have an unbelievable opportunity here to do things for ourselves, our families, and for our community. And at the end of the day, if listening to this video helps just one person, I don't care if 20 people don't like it, 1,000 people don't like it. If it helps one person, inspires one person, or cures someone's depression because they get to look at, you're eye candy. Like, I like looking at you. You're a handsome guy. I'm not too shabby either, but
the hair of an angel.
You don't grow this hair in a lab. This is natural. If one person watches this and it changes their life for the better, or gives them a moment of happiness, to me, that's worth everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think this is like everything else in my life, and I'm sure you think the same thing. It's like, we're going to put in the work, we're going to put in the time, and eventually it's going to be something that we envision. It's already something I envision, but I see it evolving to something that's going to be special for me, for my family, and for, like I said, for our community. So I'm excited, and I'm excited to share the experience with the world, and to have the conversations we're going to have with certain people that we want to bring on, that we love and know and respect, from our own family to our friends, that have unique and interesting experiences to share. Because, you and I are pretty boring. What are we going to share with the world? Like, yeah, we're in our 40s. We have family. Like, I'm trying to make my life interesting. It's not. It's
no.
I'm not interesting.
Go to work every day.
You're not interesting. We're just regular guys, but it's like, that's awesome. Like, regular guys is cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with us. And there's a lot of people like us that, are in the same shoes as us, and probably are thinking the same things we're thinking, and want to hear from us, and want to learn from us, and maybe have something to teach us. So I'm interested to see the community reaching out to us, asking us questions, telling us what they think about us and what they think about life, and trying to solve some issues and problems, and just enjoy one another. Because I think if I know anything, it's that we are all in this together, whatever this is. We're all intertwined, and the sooner everybody realizes that, I think the better we all are. Because especially nowadays, and certainly with what's happened recently with it's not the elephant of the pandemic and all that. We rely on each other. We need each other. And this is just a way, for, at least from my perspective, to just reach out, and be more a part of a bigger community. Because, right now, the last year and a half, I'm thankful that I've had my career and nothing's really changed, where I've still done what I've done and interacted with a lot of people and helped a lot of people. But other than that, like our family experiences, right? Like we used to see each other, do more things together, churches, schools. There's just this lack of socializing, you know. It's like where even like this would probably have been easier a year ago. It's like even the practice of just talking to people. So,
but who knows? Things happen for a reason. You know, if we weren't, you know, itching to try something new.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't. Yeah, you're right. We probably wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't do that run, I'm telling you, it's just funny how things tend to work out. It's like I'm seeing you post on YouTube running along. I'm like, I never said I've seen shades of this side of you from your emails, and then I'm like, yeah, this is like what I want to do. Like I want to like, I don't know why I want to share my experience because there was never a time where I wanted to do that. I kind of wanted to like keep my circle tight and not really like get out there. But it's like there's something like compelling me to like share my experience. I don't know what it is.
It's natural for people to want to share their experience because, you know, naturally we're selfish. So think about it. Everybody is selfish in one way or another. And you have to be if you're going to be, you know, helpful to anyone else. So you want to talk about yourself, share your experiences, and that's innately selfish. Right. Because you're just talking about yourself.
Yeah, you're making a great point, which is like the irony in that, right? It's like, it's selfless. I always tell my kids it's selfish to be selfless. And they're like, what are you talking about? Yeah. It's like, yeah, you want to, like sometimes you want to be there for other people and you know, and you're being selfless and you're caring more about them than you, but that's giving you so much. So you're being selfish. So, I mean, it's all perspective really. Sometimes these things you think that are bad, it's actually good, and things that are good are actually bad. It's like, so much is hard to figure out sometimes in life, and we're going to be here to help you sort through all of it.
Everything. Can't wait to solve problems.
A bucket of knowledge. You should just be
modern day
pulling
Dr. Phil
tidbits of facts out of me, because I am definitely the one you want to listen to for sure. No, but I mean, at the end of the day, yes, what compelled me to do this, and I know probably in a sense compelled you, is like, we are in a sweet spot when it comes to like being able to like inform people and help people. Cause it's like, we're not so far off of being young and experiencing everything that we've basically forgotten everything. Right.
Yeah.
Or just remember good things or just remember bad things, depending on what kind of personality. Like we're in the thick of it, you know? So it's like, we've made many mistakes. I'm sure you have. I mean, I know I've made tons of mistakes and I've done tons of things right too. So, you know, and I've learned from them, and you know, I'm ready to share that with the world. And at the same time, I'm still trying to grow as a person, you know, and I want to grow with others and learn from them. And, you know, it's, you know, networking, you know, learning from your peers and sharing your experiences and teaching them, and then getting that back. Right.
Yeah, that's what life's all about. I mean, if you're not sharing your experiences, then what are you doing? So, yeah, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see where this progresses. I've said this, you know, time and time again, but it's an exciting time in our lives. And I can't wait till we get more interactive, because I think you and I are going to be a lot better when it's, you know, addressing other people, having other people on us. I know you... I don't mind talking about myself. I don't like to.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
You know,
as selfish as it is, it's uncomfortable.
It's like I'd rather have other people, you know, on here discussing their lives and being able to probe them and reflect on their experiences, and I can't wait for that opportunity. But we also did need to have an introduction, let people see who we are, what we are, and I mean, little by little they're gonna get more and more information on what we are, what we're about, who we are, why we're here, what our motivations are. And I can't wait to let them in and little by little show myself more and more, because obviously I'm being really well behaved right now.
Yeah, in a selfish way, we're probably doing this for ourselves too, so we can become better.
Yeah.
And better for those around us.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and I think in life you should be doing things for yourself, and you should be doing things for others and your family and your community. I always say to my wife, it's like, I can't be a good person and be a good father and husband and parent or son if I'm not good to myself. I got to be happy with myself. So sometimes, you know, like, you got to do something for yourself, you know, whether it's go out and play golf by yourself or go on a run. It's like, you need me to do housework. Like right now I'm going to go do my own thing because I need to.
Yeah.
I need to get some mental clarity, and then I can come back and I can be a better person for it.
Exactly.
And you don't want to be resentful, and sometimes you constantly try to do the right thing and then you forget to take care of yourself, and then it spirals out of control. But
yeah, you got to treat yourself in order to treat others.
You know what I think too? This inaugural the first voyage here into podcast land, Nick,
Numero
is so
uno.
hard because it's like I said, when you have the parameters that we're going to have eventually when we have topics or we have guests, here it's like, where do you go? It's like, I could do this all night.
Yep.
And then again, I could feel like at some point we're going to just keep going over and over the same thing. But that's the beauty of the first one. It's like,
yeah,
it's the start of something special. It's a glimpse into what will be, and then it'll be a nice, stick, a nice flag in the moon. Like, here it is. This was our first voyage. And look at that. That was a little bit of a disaster here and there, but at the end of the day, it wasn't so bad. And then it's going to get better and better. And like I said, I can't wait. I love talking into this microphone. There's something about it that makes me very happy.
I just hope we get someone coming on one day, or a phone call or a message here and there saying, you know what, if that guy can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, you know?
If we're opening up the seed or the opportunity to other people to do something and try something new, that's great.
Maybe that's why people are so afraid to do anything, because they think they can't. But, one of the things I use, my mentality with whoever I watch, whether it's Goggins or, some random Joe Schmo, it's like, well, that guy can do it. Why can't I? And that's my motivation for everything. Physical feats, mental feats, just trying to be the best parent, husband. It's like, that guy can do it. I can do it. I got to try at least, because I'm going to regret it. It was kind of like saying, yes, you agreeing to coming on this podcast. If I don't, I'm going to look back watching you, YouTube star.
What the hell?
I could have been there next to him. So that alone was the deciding factor. I didn't let myself think about it too much. I just said, you know what? Yes, I have to. And it's all about the opportunity. If it's presented, you have to take it.
I agree with you. And I think that, like, that's awesome to hear from you. And it's like, I feel the same way. And if you asked me that 5 years ago, I wouldn't. I'd pass on it, or I wouldn't feel the confidence, or I'd be insecure about it, or worry about what people are going to think when they see me or hear me. Because it's like, one day this is going to be out there in the stratosphere of the world, and they're going to be like, what is this guy talking about? What is he doing? It's like, you know what?
We're going to be a meme.
Yeah, that's fine. I've been a meme. Jim's been posting me on Instagram for days. Like, I'm not worried about that. Like, give me a break. I've got kids. I mean, I'm not worried about being embarrassed. I haven't had, I haven't been in a toilet by myself in like 7 years. So it's like, give me a break. But, and what I mean by that is my kids constantly come in and like ask me questions. No privacy when you have kids. So don't have kids. That's lesson number one.
Yeah, definitely don't.
Don't. If you want privacy and you want to have fun in your life, just stay single. I'm just kidding. That's not necessarily the case, but different strokes for different folks.
Exactly.
And
that's the best part about this.
Right. We're all in this voyage together, but everybody's going to experience different things and going to want to do different things. I can't understand how anybody can go to the ballet and watch that, but there's people that enjoy doing that. Right.
Same here.
I like to do what I like to do. I like playing golf. A lot of people can't understand that. They're like, what could you possibly like about that sport? And, we're all different. We all like different things. But as I said before, we all are in this together. We all have that same heartbeat, right? We're all working to the same goal, which is, what is our goal? To live our best lives, right? And that's not instant gratification. That's not pleasure. In my opinion, a good life is a life of balance, right? So sacrifice, success, achieving goals, taking care of others while you're taking care of yourself, And again, we're going to expand on this because that's the podcast, right? The Boa Life. What is it? The good life. Different from everyone. But I don't think that anybody's going to find a good life if they're not sacrificing here and there, and if they're not setting goals for themselves and trying to achieve different things, failing, taking opportunities like this and going for it and not being afraid to fail. That's kind of what it's all about. So
yeah, well said. Well said. And hopefully people will take more good out of this than bad. They might look at this and say, well, that's what I didn't want to hear. But hopefully we don't have a lot of that. Hopefully it's more good than bad. But going back to how we started, you never know until you try, right? I definitely think we're going to help more people than we hurt.
No, I agree. The hope is that this is going to be something that's going to be a good thing for us and for others, and I have no doubt that it will be. I mean, episode 1 may not be, may not be the splash. Like I said, to our lovely film crew out there, and it's going to be the wheel of mistakes. It's probably going to be the best part of this thing, but
that's bound to happen. Just got to accept it, right?
I think so.
Go home and eat it.
I think that once we commit to something, I think you and I are both going to find success in it, and I can't wait to see the next one, and I can't wait to share my experience and your experience with the world, and most importantly, I can't wait to drink a beer live on camera.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some of that.
This water thing is not for me.
No, definitely not.
All right, well, I think this is episode 1 in the books.
Episode 1 in the books, people.
I think that we fumbled and mumbled and bumbled our way around that one, but at the end of the day, I think we brought you good content, and we're going to bring you better content in the future because we are committed to sharing our experience with the world and to sharing our experience with you, the viewer.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the next one, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.